Hey, hello everybody, SaveMGS here. Today I'm going to give you my predictions for UFC 160 Velasquez versus Silva 2. Okay, let's start things off on the main card. We have Donald Cerrone versus KJ Nunes. Donald Cerrone is 30 years old. He stands 5 foot 11 inches. He fights in the lightweight division. He has 19 wins, 5 losses, 2 wins by KO, 13 submission, 4 decision. He's lost once by knockout, been submitted once, and has lost 3 decisions. And Cowboy has been on quite a tear since coming into the UFC. He's only lost to 2 very elite lightweight fighters, and that would be Anthony Pettis and Nate Diaz. And 2 of his other losses also come to Benson Henderson. He also lost to Jamie Varner, who also is a very good fighter. But his losses to Henderson and Varner came in the WEC, and he has one of the best records in the lightweight division right now. I mean, he's, I believe, 6-2 in the UFC right now. That's very impressive for the lightweight division. Any weight class, really. And let's move on to his opponent, KJ Nunes. KJ the King Nunes is 30 years old. He stands 5 foot 11 inches, and he also fights in the lightweight division. He's also fought at 170 before. He has 11 wins, 6 losses. 8 of his wins come by KO. He has 0 submission wins and 3 decisions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, and he's been decisioned 4 times. Now, he's kind of had a very rough patch in his career. He hasn't really been fighting often. I mean, he fought once in 2012. He fought twice in 2011. Just not a very active fighter. He lost a very controversial decision to Ryan Couture earlier this year. He's just not as active as he used to be. Now, for example, in 2010, I believe he fought 4 times. Might have been 3. But, KJ Nunes is a very good lightweight. He just hasn't really seemed to put it all together. And this is why I'm going to pick Donald Cerrone in this fight. And after this, I would suspect that a KJ Nunes would be released from the UFC, considering he is 1-4 in his last 5. I mean, I think he'll be able to make his way back into the UFC, but he also may go back into the world of boxing, where I believe he's actually done quite well for himself. I mean, I think he's only lost twice in boxing. Okay, let's move on. Again, I'll say my official pick is Donald Cerrone by unanimous decision. Okay, now let's move on. Next up we have Mike Pyle versus Vic Story. Mike Pyle, he's 37 years old, he stands 6 foot 1 inches, he fights in the welterweight division, 24 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw. 5 wins by KO, 16 wins by submission, 3 wins by decision, 3 knockout losses, 4 submission losses, and 1 decision. He also has a draw in his record. Mike Pyle is a huge welterweight. There are not many welterweights who stand 6 foot 1 inches. The only problem is he is 37 years old, almost 38. That being said, he is 6-1 in his last 7, only losses coming to Rory McDonald. And this guy has always impressed me. I mean, doing what he's done at this stage of his career, where most fighters in his weight class and most weight classes are winding down their career, he's just been quite impressive. Now, his opponent, Rick Story, he has shown glimpses of being equally impressive. Rick Story's 28 years old. He stands 5 foot 10 inches. Also fights in the welterweight division. He has 15 wins, 6 losses, 4 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission, and 8 decision wins. He has never been knocked out. He's been submitted once, and he has 5 decision losses. Rick Story, when he first made his way into the UFC, he debuted with a loss to John Hathaway or something. Yeah, I think it was John Hathaway. Then he just went on an absolute tear in the lightweight division. I believe he won like 6 fights in a row. And as of date, he has, not really looked as impressive. I mean, It already started with the loss to Charlie Brenneman. I mean, he was an odds-on favorite to beat Charlie Brenneman. I mean, Charlie Brenneman was a very late replacement, and you know, that could have thrown him off severely. I can't remember who his original opponent was for that night. I think it was Nate Marquardt. I'm pretty sure it was Nate Marquardt. And then he went on to lose to Mon Campman, who's one of the best fighters in 170 pounds today. He beat a dude named Brock Jardine. Then he lost to Damian Maia. Then he went against a guy named Quinn. Now, he's only lost to very good fighters. And he's always impressed me with his fighting ability. And for a while there, I thought he was like going to be the next GSP. A lot of people did. And I'm just gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna pick Mike Pyle to win by submission. Okay. Next on the card we have Gray Maynard versus TJ Grant. Gray Maynard is 33 years old, stands 5 foot 8 inches, and he fights at 155 pounds. He has 11 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 no contest. He has 2 KO wins and 9 decision wins. All his losses come by knockout. Gray Maynard has really been kind of he's been on top of the weight division, kind of like the second fiddle when Frankie Edgar had his reign. You know, he fought Edgar 3 times in his career. He won the first one, drew the second, and got knocked out in the third. And he's just a very, very tough grinder. He's very hard to beat. Not many people have been even able to win rounds against him. I mean, I believe the last person to even win a round against him was Craig Reeder. No, not Craig Reeder. Before the Frankie Edgar fight, the second Frankie Edgar fight, I believe the only person who wins rounds against him was Nate Diaz. Oh, Roger Rata, I can't remember. But he is a very, very grinding type fighter. He's kind of like a John Fitch with severe knockout power. And his opponent, TJ Grant, he is 29 years old, 20 wins, 5 losses, stands 5 foot 11 inches, also fights in the lightweight division. Has 3 wins by KO, 13 submissions, 4 decision wins. Has never been knocked out, submitted once, and 4 decision losses. And he's been on quite a roll himself. He has 4 wins in a row. His last loss came to Ricardo Almeida, the now retired Ricardo Almeida. And he's a very good fighter. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Gray Maynard. I think he's just going to grind out a win. And I believe he's going to go fight Vincent Henderson in his next bout if he should win this one. Okay, next up on the card we have Silva Teixeira versus James' name I'm not going to pronounce because I will utterly butcher it and it would be insulting if I tried to say it. Silva Teixeira is 33 years old. He stands 6 foot 2 inches. He fights in the 205-pound weight class. He has 20 wins, 2 losses, 12 wins by KO, 5 submission victories, and 3 decisions. He's been knocked out once and decision once. He has not lost in a very long time. He hasn't lost since 2005. This man should have been in the UFC a long, long time ago. That's all I really have to say. I mean, he destroyed Quentin Jackson. He destroyed Kyle Kingsbury. He destroyed, I can't remember the guy's name in his second fight. He annihilated Rico Rodriguez outside the UFC. Annihilated Marvin Eastman. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Silva Teixeira. He's a bad he's a bad MFer. And his opponent, James Hun. I hope that's how you say it. He's 31 years old, stands 6 foot 1 inches tall. He also fights in light heavyweight. He has 10 wins by KO, 3 decision wins and 3 submission wins. His losses come by 4 submissions, and he has 1 other loss. It really wasn't reported what it was. It just says 1 other. And, you know, he's been on quite a roll here. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. Just beat Ryan Jimmo. To be honest, I have no idea why Glover Teixeira is fighting this guy. They just don't seem. They just don't seem like they're in the right place in divisional rankings. I mean, it just seems like Glover Teixeira should be in that upper echelon fighting like Alexander Gustafsson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Dan Henderson. No, I don't think Glover's ready for a title shot, but I think he should be fighting those upper echelon guys, not James Dehaene. No disrespect to the man. He's a great fighter, but I just don't feel that the divisional rankings match up as of right now. So I'm going to pick Glover Teixeira by 2nd round TKO stoppage. Okay, next fight on the card. This one's my favorite. This one you have the one, the only, the Super Samoan Mark Hunt and Junior Dos Santos. Oh God, if you told me 5 years ago Mark Hunt would be in the UFC on a 5-fight winning streak, I would have said you're absolutely insane. If you told me he's almost going to fight for a title, I probably would have slapped you. That being said, oh my God, has Mark Hunt ever made a comeback in his career? Mark Hunt, you know, he was a good fighter in pride, just, you know, his career kind of went downhill from about 2006 to 2010. You know, he really wasn't very active, and when he was active, he lost all the time. But if you look at the guys he fought during his initial run as a fighter, you know, he beat Vanderlei Silva. He beat Mirko Krokop. He beat Tiki. He had a quite competitive first 60 seconds with Josh Barnett. He was competitive with Fedor. He almost Kimura Fedor, for God's sakes. He almost knocked out Alistair Overeem. I think that should be an immediate rematch now that they're both in the UFC. But I digress. Then he lost to Melvin Ranhoff, then Gegard Mousasi, then he got tapped by Sean McCorkle in his UFC debut. He got into the UFC because of his pride contract. Basically, they didn't know this thing existed. Then they went, oh snap, this thing exists. And it was basically, none of them knew about it, and they kind of had to fulfill it. It was an error on both ends. So yeah, nobody got any repercussions by it, because they were both wrong in this matter, and they just settled it by letting them fight. Actually, Dana just wanted to pay Mark Hunt to stay home, and just give him all the money for his contract. But you know, Mark Hunt said, no, I want to earn this money. I want to keep fighting. And my God, he has absolutely won haywire of the UFC heavyweight division. He knocked out Chris Tucker, I believe his name is. He decisioned Ben Rothwell. He absolutely destroyed Chicago, and he snapped Stephen Sears' jaw in half. Okay, let's get to the tail of the tape here. Mark the Super Samoan Hunt is 39 years old, stands 5'10", 265 pounds. He has 9 losses, 7 losses. Actually, 9 wins, 7 losses. He has 6 wins by KO, 3 decision wins. He's been knocked out once, been submitted 6 times, and has never lost a decision. Okay, Mark Hunt is a small height-wise heavyweight, but he fights in the upper limits of the heavyweight division. Now, if you look at a lot of Samoan boxers, they're also like that. And he has an iron chin. The only person ever to knock him out was Melvin Manhoff. You know, Melvin Manhoff may fight at 185 pounds or not, but Melvin Manhoff absolutely clocked him in the face with one of the most brutal right hands you ever see. I believe it was a right hand. No man alive could have took that shot. And his opponent, Junior Dos Santos, Zagano, is 28 years old, stands 6'4" inches. He weighs in at 239 pounds. He has 15 wins, 2 losses, 11 wins by KO, 2 submission wins, and 2 decision wins. Has never been knocked out. He's been submitted once, and he's been decisioned once. Junior Dos Santos has lost his title defense to Cain Velasquez. He's also he's actually the only man to ever beat Cain Velasquez. He has looked impressive in all his fights. He destroyed Mirko Cro Cop. Well, no, not destroyed. It was quite a competitive fight until the third round. It wasn't like Mirko was being ragdolled like Chael Sonnen was, or anything. Mirko was able to hang in there. Just until the third round, everything went to hell for him. And yeah. He destroyed Gilbert Yarbrough. He destroyed Gabe Gonzaga. He made Roy Nelson into a punching bag. He made Shane Collin into a punching bag. He knocked out Cain Velasquez in 1 minute and 4 seconds. He destroyed Frank Mir. Then he lost the decision to Cain Velasquez. Junior Dos Santos is no doubt one of the best heavyweights on the planet. If not, he's the number 2 heavyweight on the planet right now. I mean, this guy has the potential to be. He has the potential to be Fedor-like. And we have 2 guys right now in Cain Velasquez and Junior who have that capability to be a Fedor-like figure. And the problem with that is Fedor didn't have to deal with another Fedor in his career. And I think these 2's legacies will never add up to what his was, just because they're gonna be like stuck in this purgatory fighting each other forever. But yeah. Back on to my fight analysis of this bout. Now, I know I said Cain and Junior are probably going to end up in this purgatory fighting forever because no one else can beat them. Mark Hunt is the only heavyweight that could probably beat Junior Dos Santos, not named Cain Velasquez. And I'll tell you why. Junior Dos Santos is going to try to box Mark Hunt. You do not do that. Mark Hunt knocks people out in one shot. He is a K1 Grand Prix World Champion for a reason. Just look at his kickboxing fights. He took a head kick from Mirko Cro Cop that would have decapitated someone. He just fell and got right back up and won that fight. It also happened in the kickboxing bout, which Mirko won, but Mark Hunt got right back up like nothing happened. I don't think Junior Dos Santos has anything to dish out that Mark Hunt can't handle, short of that Melvin Manhoff punch that got landed on Mark Hunt all those years ago. And any shot from Mark Hunt can put somebody out. And I don't see either participants in this bout being interested in taking this to the ground. So, I think this is a very, very dangerous fight for Chigano. But if he wins, I would assume it's going to look kind of like the same Collin bout. Just about the occasional takedown defense attempt that Collin had. Because we all know that Mark has no interest in going down. And to be honest, even if Junior wants to, Mark Hunt has demonstrated enough takedown defensibility to, not get taken down. He was able to defend takedowns from Hishida for a while. He was able to defend some of Barnett's takedowns. He was able to defend takedowns from TK. Vanderlei Silva, he defended a bunch of them. Vanderlei's not exactly the best wrestler ever. But, yeah. Mark Hunt has demonstrated that, yes, he does have takedown defense. I don't think Junior is going to try and implement that strategy, though. I'm going to pick the big underdog in this fight, and I'm going to go with Mark Hunt winning by knockout in the first round. Because the longer this fight goes on, the more it goes into Junior's advantage. But as we start with the Stephen Struve fight with Mark Hunt, he can knock you out at any time, in any round, even if he's completely gassed. Mark Hunt is probably the best fighter at fighting tired on the planet. And if he wins this bout, you're either going to have to give him a title shot against the winner of Velasquez and Antonio Silva, or you're going to have to give him like Roy Nelson or something. Or Daniel Cormier. Because who else is there really to Mark to face if he wins this bout? He can't really fight. No, Chicago. He beat Chicago. He's gonna destroy most mid-tier heavyweights. Mark Hunt's probably a top 5 heavyweight right now. And if he beats Junior Dos Santos, he could become the number 2. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Mark Hunt by round 1 KO. In the main event, we have Cain Velasquez. He is 30 years old, stands 6 foot 1 inches. He weighs in at 249 pounds. He has 11 wins, 1 loss, 9 wins by KO, 2 decisions. He's been knocked out once in his career. Okay, as I said before, he's going to meet Junior Dos Santos at least 2 more times in his career. There's really no other people in the heavyweight division who can beat him. And even if Mark Hunt does win, I don't think he would be able to defend Cain's takedowns for long. So, yeah. Let's move on to his opponent, Antonio Silva. He's already fought Cain Velasquez before, and yeah, if you saw that fight, you know what I mean. Antonio Silva is 33 years old. He stands 6 foot 4 inches. He weighs in at 262 pounds. He has 18 wins, 4 losses. He has 13 KO wins, 3 submission victories, and 2 decision wins. He has 3 KO losses. He's been decisioned once. Okay, Antonio Silva, he's kind of like Mark Hunt now. Well, record-wise. He's only going to lose to top fighters. I mean, he had a freak loss to Eric Payday. I believe it was Eric Payday. It was Eric something. Like 7 years ago. It was a freak stoppage. It was a bad stoppage. Antonio Silva was probably going to destroy that guy. Now, Antonio Silva has fought many former UFC champions. He beat Vico Rodriguez. He beat Andre Arlovsky. Those are 2 former UFC heavyweight champions. And, he's fought guys like Fabricio Verdum and came up short. He's been beat by Daniel Cormier. And he's been beat by Cain Velasquez. This guy only loses to top fighters in the heavyweight division. But unfortunately, it's already been proven that Cain Velasquez can beat him. And Cain has beat him quite convincingly. Now, I believe in this fight that Antonio Silva is going to be a lot more competitive. Because I think he has something to prove to himself that was a freak incident. I don't think Antonio Silva can win this bout. Sort of a freak knockout shot. But I think this is going to be a much more competitive fight. So I'm going to pick Cain Velasquez by unanimous decision. Because I think Antonio Silva can't stand the thought of what happened to him in that first fight with Cain. He's going to do everything in his power to make sure that does not happen. Now, do I think Antonio is going to win? As I said before, no. So, I'll say it once again, I am picking Cain Velasquez to win this fight. So, tell me what you think of my picks. Leave a comment. Like the video. What do you think of my nice gold chain right here? Yeah, you don't have to comment on that. I just wanted to do that. But yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe, tell me your opinions, tell me if you agree or disagree with me. And my god, this video has gone on for 23 minutes, almost 24. Okay, everybody, that was my prediction for UFC 160, Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Silva. This takes place May 25th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. I almost said Las Vegas, California. Oh god. Yeah. This is what happens when I talk for a long time. I start making stupid mistakes like that. Okay, everybody, have a nice day.